Hey crew, it's Pid, and I'm back with our weekly tarot for our INTJs for the week of July the 27th through August the 2nd. We will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Feminine, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine in accordance with our 8 chakras to best understand how we can manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. Before we begin, however, if you are unfamiliar with me and this is the first time you've seen my smiling face, or if you are unfamiliar with what the words, ideas, old, self, control, and direct mean, then I suggest that you fall back and watch the video that is going to be linked in the corner above that is entitled, Have You Been Doing MBTI Wrong? Because there is a very good chance that you have. We're going to begin at the base with the 5 of Swords. In the sacral, we have the 8 of Wands. In the solar plexus, we have the Moon in reverse. In the heart, we have the 6 of Swords in reverse. In the throat, we have the 5 of Wands. In the third eye, we have that's the 7, right? Yeah, that is the 7 of Pentacles. And in the crown, we are looking at the 10 of Swords. And then rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Next, we will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine deck. The Divine Feminine deck tells us what the current situation is. The Divine Masculine deck tells us the actions that we can take in order to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And so, with this last shuffle, we will begin pulling cards, starting with the Crown. We have the 6 of Swords. In the third eye, we have the Chariot in reverse. In the throat, we have the 7 of Cups in reverse. In the heart, we have the Knight of Wands. In the solar plexus, we have the Queen of Cups. In the sacral, we have the 9 of Swords. The Queen of Cups was in reverse. In the base, we have the 8 of Pentacles. And rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Star. Let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us. We begin in the base because the base is where we exist. It is, do you have a job? Do you have a car? Do you have a home? Do you have money? This is the area that is in charge of love and wrath. So you may be giving away a little bit too much affection. You may not be receiving the affection that you feel like you deserve. For you in particular, as an INTJ, your base is going to be governed by SI, which is organizing all of the things that have happened, or all of the things, what are the best things. Now, for you, this is going to be easy. This is going to be your SI demon. It is, you don't want to organize anything. You don't actually know what the best anything is. And it's not a personal thing. It's just one of the things that the INTJs do. For you in particular, we have the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords, a 5 is a challenge card, and Swords is soul, air, thought, intellect, and communication. So this may be an idea. This may be a communication, but it is a difficult one. There is a challenge that you need to rise to meet. Now, this guy in this particular 5 is on the winning side of it, right? If it was upside down, then it wouldn't be you, somebody else is winning. But it is standing tall. He is victorious. He has defeated these guys that are walking off. He has their swords as a victory trophy. He is holding his sword in a defensive position. He is not charging. He is not attacking anyone. He has risen to the challenge and he is overcoming it. This is a current situation card. It is the Divine Feminine, and therefore your current situation is that you are rising to meet a challenge about a communication, a thought, or an idea. Now, clarifying that with actions that can be taken, keep your head down and work. This is the 8 of Pentacles. This is you have just finished the harvest with the 7. Now you are looking for where you can reinvest those things, right? And then you see the path. Now, the path for you is going to be hard work and diligence. This is a hard work, diligence card. You can see that he has here, well, right here, he's got 7 or 6. There are 6 pentacles here. There's 1 at his feet right here, and he is working on 1 right here. He has got his head down. These are the ones that he has already completed. He has been working towards his goals. This is one that is coming, right? It is not a great challenge. And the one that he is working on, he is diligently with his head down, doing what he is supposed to be, and that's going to reveal the path. Now, these 2 cards together means that there is a challenge that you are meeting by working diligently. Next up, we're looking at the sacral. The sacral is the area of generation. This is physical generation. It can be sexual. This is the area that governs lust and chastity. So you may be giving away a little bit too much affection. You may be receiving a little bit too much physical affection, not emotional. Neither one of those are necessarily a good thing. For you in particular, this is going to be governed by your feelings of how you will feel in the future. It is an FE, which is future feelings. How will I feel? And it is going to be dealing with ethics, which is what has everyone decided is going to be from this. This is what are other people going to feel? How are other people going to feel from these actions? And for you, you're going to accidentally choose the wrong thing almost all of the time. The sacral and the trickster, they're the same thing. And it is going to trick you, right? You're going to think you're doing right. You're actually doing wrong. And again, that is not personal. That is just how it works out for your stack. This is an 8, right? 8s are, again, about finding the path, right? The harvest is done. What do I do with all of these things that I have just gained from the harvest? And the 8 is, there's the path, right? Now, this is a sudden change. This is happening in your life currently, divine feminine. It's in the area of generation. You can see that these 8 wands are moving, right? Now, wands are spirit, fire, life, light, logos, and change. So this is signifying change in a fast manner. These are all flying. They are all relatively even. There's one right here in the middle that's lagging a little bit behind, but all of them are going to reach the destination at about the same time. They are all in the downward trajectory. They are all almost to the target. This is another work diligently, but it is also a sudden change, right? There is a sudden something coming in, sudden change coming in. It's related to the area of generation. Now, this can be you want to have a child, right? That is a physical generation. But it is also, I want to have a business. That is a physical generation as well. Now, if you want a business, you envision it with your third eye. This is where you see all of the things. This is you putting it into practical application, whether that is a child or not, right? And so for you, there is a sudden change coming in what you want to generate. This can be good news coming in, or it can be some not great news. Now, what we have here is swords. Swords is about communication and thought. This is soul, air, thought, intellect, and communications. This is the 9. This is a choice card, right? The 9s are all choices. You have the new path presents itself with 8. With a 9, you have to choose. You have this new change coming in with an 8. You have to make a choice. Now, this is what I call the PTSD card because it is a card of past regrets, right? You are holding on to things that maybe you don't need to. This is all the people that he defeated. Remember down here, he collected the swords with the 5 of swords? He's doing the same thing here, right? He has all of his victories. They're in his past. He has his sword underneath him here. He is in the bed in a regretful pose, right? This isn't really meditation. Meditation is when he's laying straight out. That's the 4. This is more about, I regret the steps that I have taken. I want a new path. Let me make a choice about this new path. You're tired of the combat, right? You're tired of all of these victories. You want something new. Now, this is, I want something new in my life, and you are taking steps. This is the masculine card. The steps that you can take is overcoming these past regrets, whatever they happen to be. Now, this can be tied to a specific idea that you've got a challenge with down here. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but because they are here, it makes me think that it is, right? There is something about this idea or communication that you are feeling a little bit of a regret about from your past. Your past situation, the way that you acted, that is what's affecting this. And this sudden change comes when you let go of these regrets. It is never a good thing to hold on to regrets, right? You need to do your shadow work. And shadow work is not just, I did a bad thing. It is going back and looking at motivations. It is going back and seeing how it made you feel. It is going back and forgiving the people who have wronged you in the past. And all of that is going to be tied to this. Right, if you cannot forgive someone, then this change is not going to fully enact, right? It is happening. There is something changing in your life right now. But if you don't take the actions to get over this past regret, you're going to have a hard time. Now, your SI in the base, that is going to make it hard for you to do that. It is going to make you exceptionally hard for you to let go of how someone else has acted in the past because you remember that, right? That is You remember all of the negative things so easily. So easily. You remember this guy did this one thing 15 years ago and you don't talk to him anymore because of it. And it was minor, right? That is your energy. That is your negativity in the base. It is just simply one of the, I share that, right? I'm an INFJ. I share that exact same slot. So I understand completely. This regret has to happen. You have to get over this. You have to give the forgiveness for this. If you do not give the forgiveness for this, it's not going to work out well for you, and you're generating, right? This is what you want in your life. If you want this in your life, if you want this change, you have to do this. You have to let these regrets go. Next up, we're going to be looking at the solar plexus. The solar plexus is quite literally what changes your food into fuel. It's tied to your stomach. It is the area that governs gluttony and temperance, so you may be over-consuming the things of the mortal coil. You may be under-consuming the things of the mortal coil. Neither one of those are exactly good. Asceticism is highly overrated. For you in particular, the solar plexus is going to be governed by personal thoughts and logic. These are the things that feed your true desires. This enables you to go to work and be able to earn a living. This enables you to be able to put into generation the things that you want. This is where your fuel comes from. Now, you have the moon in reverse. The moon, when it is standing tall, is a come out of your comfort zone card, right? This is a 18 card. So an 18 card is going to be understanding, right? You have the moon and the sun with the rays around it, right? This is both the moon and the sun. And then you have the towers, right? There is the good tower and the dark tower. And it doesn't matter which one it is in this particular card, but they are white and dark. You're supposed to walk down this path in between them, not cleave into the virtues, not cleave into the vices, but finding that balance in between the two. Here you have the animal side of man, you have the domestic side of man. That again is finding the balance between the two. This is a card of balance. Down here at the bottom, there's a path that runs right here, and down here at the bottom there's a little crawfish, and he is coming out of the water. He is armored, he is fully defended, but he's coming out of his comfort zone. He is walking down this path through the virtues and the vices. This is walk down the middle, right? This is about a balance. This is about a change. This is about coming out of your comfort zone. Now you have this in the reverse, which means don't, or it's someone else, or you are resisting, right? This is a more active part, right? And so this appears to be that you are resisting this change. This appears to be that you are not coming out of your comfort zone in the way that you need to, right? That's tied to these regrets most likely, especially since we have as clarification for the steps that you can take from the Divine Masculine, the Queen of Cups. Now, Cups is all about emotions. This is about the emotional connections. It is body-spirit, whereas Pentacles are body-body. This is body-spirit. This is dealing with emotional connections. That can be familial connections, that can be spousal connections, that can be your friendships or your co-workers. But it is about the emotional connections that are formed, not necessarily the people themselves. When she is standing upright, it is about investing your energy into something, but not really like actively. This is a generate. This is a nurture card. This is right before the culmination of the path. With the Knight, you have risen to the challenge. That's the card right before this one. With the King, you culminate and you take in the harvest. The Queen is kind of like fertilize your crops, right? They're already planted. You've already met the challenge. You're not quite ready to harvest them yet, but there's still a little bit of work left to be done. It's a less active work, right? You're just kind of taking care of things. You're nurturing things. That's the energy of the Queen. Now, this is a don't, right? This is a not. This is a someone else, or you are resisting because it is in the reverse. With these two cards, right, you are resisting this change and you're resisting nurturing. Now, this is probably tied to this PTSD card. It is extremely hard for you to let go of these past regrets. It is something that you're going to have to do, and that is how you're going to flip this card around, which allows you to flip this card around. Or the other interpretation for this is that you do not do the nurturing, right? Maybe there is a sudden change. It is challenging about these ideas. And maybe that is you not feeding someone else's emotions, right? That can be what this is. Not coming out of your comfort zone, staying there. Now, Not coming out of your comfort zone is not going to allow you to recover this unless it is a meditative thing, right? If you are staying in your comfort zone so that you can deal with your past regrets, that is fine. For everything else, most of the time, you need to be coming out of your comfort zone. You need to be pushing yourself just a little bit harder, just a little bit farther. You should be growing every single day, and that is emotional maturity, right? And so this is a card of emotional maturity that you have not quite achieved yet. We're going to look and see if there's some further clarification. These are tied together and these are tied together, so there's more that can come. Next up, we're going to be looking at the heart. The heart are the things that you want to manifest in your life, right? You envision your future, you work towards your future. This is your true desires. This is what you really will be happy with. The things that will feed your soul more than anything. Now, it is the area that governs greed and charity. Greed is the mortal coil. It is clinging too much to the mortal. The charity is cleaving a little bit too much to the spiritual, which is the upper trinity. When you bring the lower trinity and the upper trinity into accordance, as above, so as above, so below. When you bring those into accordance and you feed them through your heart into the divine, that allows manifestation to take place. Now, for you in particular as an INTJ, this is going to be future possibilities and foresight. You really want to be able to see all of the things that might happen, right? That's why you maintain control so much. You want to be in control of the outcome. It's not something you're going to be able to do. Nobody can control the outcome. You can only control the part that you play in it. But what you really want to do is to be able to see the outcomes, right? You want to say, okay, this is the situation. This can happen, this can happen, this can happen, and this can happen, right? Not necessarily choosing which one is most likely, but all of these things can come from it. And you have a tendency to overlook a few of the options. You're really good at picking the best one, but sometimes you miss the options, and when you miss those options, that's going to hurt you in choosing the best one. And what we have for you, this is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is movement. It is journey. It is overcoming and growth in the same way that the Queen is, right? Now, you have it in reverse, which means that it is, again, not happening. If you look at the card, they are moving. They are going somewhere. This guy back here, he is polling these two people across the expanse. They have all of these swords that they have accumulated, but they are looking for a new place, something that where they can put their energy with a little bit less conflict. Swords are ideas. It is communications. Once again, thought, intellect, and communication. And so this can have something to do with any of those. We had this challenge down here about an idea or a communication. We have this challenge here, this choice to make about a communication. This is the same energy, right? Not happening, right? There is a challenge you're not overcoming quite yet, right? This is a current situation. You are in the middle of the challenge. You're close to the overcoming, right? Or else it wouldn't even show up. This would be, again, a challenge card, but it's not. There's an overcoming. It's just not quite happening yet. When it is in reverse, it is a not, right? You have not done this. You are not doing this. Someone else is doing this, or you are resisting it. Or the do not do this, right? That's the other instruction that we get from the reversals. Reversals are not necessarily negative. It is instructions. In your current situation, you are not nurturing. You are not putting that energy in there. You're not fertilizing the crops. And what do? How do you materialize that? How do you flip around this six? Or this, the six. It is the Knight of Wands. Once again, wands are spirit, fire, life, light, logos, and change. This is rising to meet the challenge of the change. You see this challenge down here that you need to rise to meet, right? By working diligently. You see this sudden change coming in, but you have some past regrets that you need to get by in order to make that happen. You have this change that you are resisting over here, the coming out of the comfort zone about an emotional thing, right? And then you have this communication that is causing some kind of a challenge, right? You're not quite over it. You've got to rise to meet the challenge. And this is one, so it is all about the change happening in your life. It's tied to this. And so in order to fully realize this, you have to rise to the challenge. This knight is charging forward full speed. Both of his horses' front feet are up. He is moving fast. Now, this has past implications because he is facing to the past, but it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to the past. But for you in this particular reading, it might be, right? You have to rise to meet the challenge of the past, and you got the Nine of Swords. Next up, we're going to the throat, and the throat is the area of communication. This is dealing with you communicating freely, openly, and honestly. This is the area that governs pride and humility. So you may be taking too much credit for your work. You may not be taking enough credit for your work. This is where that is going to manifest. For you in particular, this is going to be dealing with the SE, which is current things and exploration. All of the new experiences. You like getting new experiences, you just don't communicate them well, right? You want to have a new experience, you just don't know how to, right? You don't know how to implement it. You don't know how to ask for assistance in it. You have a little bit of trouble with those interpersonal relationships. Now, for you, we have, again, a challenge, right? Challenge. Where was the other challenges, right? We've got a lot of challenges going on here. This is, again, a challenge about change, communicating the challenge. That's what this is about. This is a communication area, so you're probably not communicating correctly about the change. It is coming, it is sudden, you don't quite understand it. But it is happening, right? This is a current situation. You are currently in the middle of it. Again, this challenge down here is related to communication because of the sword, possibly. This is related to communication, possibly because of the swords. This is related to communication, possibly because of the swords. This is the area of communication with a reiteration of a challenge. It is entirely possible that this is a challenge about communication. Or, swords are also ideas, so it can be idea. This has got something to do with that, right? This whole read is something about this communication or thought. And clarifying that with the steps that you can take is to resist temptation. This is a 7 card. 7 cards are the culmination. It is the harvest of the first level. It is completion of the first path right before you realize that the new path is there. This has all of the temptations in the world. If you look closely, you can see there are 7 cups. These 7 cups are filled with the virtues and vices. There is a representation for each one of the coins in these boxes or in these cups. This is about choosing the appropriate response, right? You are meant to balance your life between the virtues and vices. What that means is you are meant to have sex, but you're not meant to have sex with everyone, and you're not meant to be chaste, right? You're supposed to find the balance. Find that one special person who you are meant to share your soul with, which is what sexual congress is. You are meant to have love and not be wrathful, right? That is a balance. You are meant to have things. You're not meant to give away everything. You are not. But you're not meant to have everything either. You're not meant to, you're meant to have possessions. You're not meant to love those possessions. That's the balance between those coins. This is choosing the appropriate response to the coins, right? You have one side or the other for each of them. Now, this can be a prideful challenge. This doesn't have to be. But this is you. This is a resist the temptation. Right, the harvest is here. You have all of this wealth, and you need to resist the temptations of the world or the emotional contacts, because this is cups. And so when it is upside down, this is a little bit of a letting go, right? This is a resist the temptation. It's okay to let it go a little bit, right? Maybe you are a teetotaler, right? Now, barring alcoholism, most people can have a drink every once in a while. Some people just decide, you know what, I'm never going to have a drink ever, right? Some people do that. If you are not an alcoholic, that's probably not your choice. You are meant to have a little bit of alcohol every once in a while. It's a perfectly acceptable thing, right? That's finding that balance. This is choosing that appropriately. This is you are the teetotaler, and maybe you do decide to have a couple of drinks. That's the action that you can take in order to clarify this situation. Now, this can be having a couple of drinks with other people. This can be letting go of any of the vices, any of the virtues. I cannot narrow it down from these cards, right? And so this might be pride. It is in the area of pride, and you need to be a little less prideful. This can be humility, and you are not taking any credit for what you need, and you need to do that. But there is something about it that you need to relax, right? If you are being too humble, take pride in your work. Not to the point where you think that you're better than other people, but understand that you did a job well. I did this job well. Maybe not better than anybody else, but well. I did this. This is my work. Take pride in it. And that is about finding the balance there, right? I'm not telling you to go out and get drunk, right? But if you decide that maybe it's time to try a little bit of alcohol, do so in a responsible manner, right? Relax. That's what this is. There's a challenge. Relax into it. Next up, we're going to be going to the third eye. The third eye is where you envision the future that you want to enact. You see the book, you write the book. You envision the business, write the business plan, put it into action, and get the funding. For you in particular, the third eye is going to be governed by your morals and your past feelings, which is the FI. How has this made me feel in the past, and what morals have I extracted from it? Ethics is what everybody else thinks about what is right. Morals is what you think about what is right. Now, in this particular area is going to govern sloth and diligence. Are you working diligently towards your ends, or are you just slacking off and expecting it to come to you? Neither one of those are necessarily good. You have the harvest card, right? This is you envision the harvest of your business, or this sudden change, this regret is going to allow to happen. This is you envisioning that harvest. This is you knowing that whatever this is that you are putting into place is going to bring you financial security. Now, this is the culmination of the first path. It's not a king. This is, I have invested wisely my efforts, right? You're diligently working. If you are diligently working, then this is a good card for you, right? This is signifying that there will be a harvest in the current situation, right? This is coming to an end. There is a culmination happening. Now, these cards are linked on the left-hand path. The cards on the right-hand path are linked, and the cards in the middle are linked too. And so these feed into each other. And so this and this, they're probably linked. This is a sudden change that is coming, probably due to this harvest. Now, we have clarifying with actions that can be taken, the Chariot in the reverse. Now, the Chariot is a 7 card. This is 7, 7, which means that there is a harvest not quite coming in fast. When this is standing up tall, this is sudden completion. This is sudden change. The Chariot, the Tower, and Death are all change cards. This is a harvest, a change at the harvest. This is a harvest, so you are envisioning a harvest in your near future. The current situation is that the harvest is developing, but it may not be developing as fast as you want. When it is in the upright, this is a man in the position of authority being dragged down by equality, by balance. Both of these are yoked to his chariot. They are working for him. He has both the light and dark at his command in equal measure. But you're a little bit out of balance, and that is causing you to not achieve the end goal, right? The end goal is right here. It is coming upon you fast. It's not quite as fast as you would like. This is, you are not doing the thing. This is a resistance to, right? And so this challenge that is happening across here is keeping this completion from happening, most likely. But we do see, right, the harvest and the harvest. We see sudden change coming in. We see you working hard for the new path. So we got another 7 here. So that is a 7, 7, and 7. That's definitely some completions. Next up, we're going to be looking at the crown. The crown is what you interpret from the divine. You get a message from the divine, you filter that through your crown, and it distributes to everywhere else. This is the area that governs hope and despair. So if everything is going wonderful and you're still choosing depression, this is the area where that action is going to be happening. If you are everything's going wrong and you see nothing but gold, this is where that's going to happen too. For you in particular, the crown is going to be governed by what other people think. It is other people's thoughts, other people's rationale. So you're going to have a tendency to rely upon the experts, right? This guy who went to school tells me this thing, I'm going to take him at his word most of the time. You're not going to challenge it, even if they are wrong, even if they don't know what they're talking about. And one of the sad realities that we live in is that most professionals are not current on their own understanding, right? The own things that they do on a daily basis, they don't really have a full understanding of. And so relying on the experts a little bit too much can be a bad thing. But for you, you do it well, right? Most of the time you are correct when you are relying on those experts. It's in your crown. That's an area of 70% reception or more. You have the Ten of Swords. Now, this is a betrayal card, right? You may be feeling betrayed. This is the Ten of Swords, so it is about intellect, it is about thoughts, and it is about communication. Once again, this is you feel like someone has stabbed you in the back, right? He has 10 swords in his back, and so it can feel like a betrayal, right? This challenge over here, it might be that. This past regret, it might be that. This not wanting to come out of your change, that might be that. And so your current situation, this regret that you're having that you need to let go of, is probably related to that. It is probably you feel like someone has betrayed you in the past, and that is causing you problems in the present. This is a 10 card, and 10 cards are about learning. So there is something in the situation that you need to learn about in order to make right judgment. You do not have all of the information. Now, clarifying that with steps that we can take from the Divine Masculine. We've got the Six of Swords. Six are about overcoming challenges, which you definitely want to do, right? You've got so many challenges here. This is overcoming those challenges. This is the sudden movement card. Didn't we have this already? We did not. Okay. This is the sudden movement card. What we see here is this man right here. He is pulling these two people, the woman and the child, across the river to a new land. They have their past challenges all accumulated here. They've been victorious, but they are looking for something different. They're tired of the combat. They're tired of the fighting. They're tired of it. Now, again, swords, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Four of that's fully like a quarter of the cards is swords. That is a lot of thought issues, right? That is a lot of communication. So there may be something in the current situation about a thought or a communication that you do need to nurture in order to overcome. This is coming from the divine. This is filtered through your other people's rationale and the crown. So there may be someone else bringing an idea that is going to lead to this overcoming. But this is overcoming the challenge. This is what you foresee in the near future. Right? This is what you interpret from the divine and what you feel responsible for. And so you feel responsible for this, right? You allowed someone to stab you in the back, right? That's what you're feeling. I allowed somebody because I didn't have the correct information. This is overcoming. This is you have overcome. So if you are working on this PTSD, this is happening. Next up, we're going to go straight to the divine. There are no virtues and vice attached to this, but for you in particular as an INTJ, this area is the best possibility, and you see it almost flawlessly. Again, we share this, right? I am an anti dominant. This is narrowing the path. This is putting it into the box. This is deciding what the best possibility is, and you do it almost flawlessly, 90+% success rate. But when you mess it up big. And you mess it up big because you don't see those things that are related to your heart, right? Those ideas, those outcomes that you are not foreseeing. The possibility that you just missed. If you would have had that possibility, you would have chosen that possibility because you get it right when you have all the options. Your problem is taking time to have all of the options. And so what we have from the divine dealing with you is the Knight of Pentacles. This is a rise to the challenge card, right? Challenge. We got all of these challenges down here. This is a rise to the challenge card exactly the same way that the Knight of Wands is, right? But this is a less active rise to the challenge. This is you currently rising to the challenge by understanding. He is holding in his hand the world. He is not charging forward. The horse is sitting still, but he is armored. He is on the horse. He is ready to go where he is needed. He just doesn't know where that is quite yet, right? He is looking at the pentacle, trying to figure out where to go. This is in rising to the challenge of the earthly plane. This is your current situation according to the divine. So the divine is equipping you to rise to the challenge of the earthly plane, to reach this harvest, right? And clarifying that with some steps that we can take is get a little bit out of balance. This is the star card. You have it in reverse, but when the star card is standing tall, this is an overcoming and a victory card. Now this is 17, and 17 is going to be about learning. But this is a balance card. We have the 1 star with the 7 stars around it, which makes a total of 8. And she, who is normally naked, I had to cover her up for YouTube purposes, but nakedness says look beyond the normal, look beyond to the greater meaning. She is pouring the waters of life on both the earth and the water. She has 1 foot in the water. She has 1 foot on the earth. This is a card about balance. This is a card of not balance, right? When it is upside down, there's something unbalanced about it. Now, you have this unbalance yourself here at the 7 of Cups in the third eye, or in the throat, the communications. This seems to be maybe a reiteration of that. When it is standing tall, it is making good judgments. It is doing things in the right way. It is about balance. When it is upside down, there's a little bit less balance. Now, these two together, we have the rise to the challenge by being a little bit unbalanced. Now, that does not mean to go unhinged, right? And you have a tendency to really go unhinged when you let loose. Don't do that, right? This is a relaxed somewhat, though, right? You are holding on to something a little bit too much, and you are a T, so T's have a tendency to do that, right? You're all about the control. I want to control this situation, control these ideas. And so this is a letting go of that. This is a letting someone else take the lead. This is a relax a little bit and just enjoy yourself. That is what this is saying. There is something about this understanding, these challenges, and in order to rise to meet the challenge that is currently facing you, you need to relax a little bit. You need to let go of the balance just a little bit, right? Life is about balance, and you are unbalanced in one direction or the other. And in order to reach that balance, you've got to let go of the old one. That's going to bring us to the end of the reading for today. Hopefully, I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow, throw me a comment. If you agree or disagree with anything that was stated, put it in the box down below. And if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you are a reader with a different interpretation, you are more than welcome to drop that in the box as well. All are welcome as long as they are respectful. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.